there.
Hello, welcome to Brainscapers with Brooks and Roots. I'm Roots, that's Brooks. Today we're going to talk about, this is our shrub of the week. It is called a crepe myrtle. Crepe myrtles typically are a southern type plant, but over the years, as things have warmed up a little bit in southern Ohio, these are actually doing great. Crepe myrtles are a cool plant if you're not familiar with them in a northern landscape because they bloom super late in the year. And sometimes if we don't have the right growing season, it's really hard for them to have time to form their flowers and have them flower. So basically with crepe myrtle is in a bad winter, they can die all the way back to the ground. So this guy could die all the way back. And in here you're going to see, this is last year's growth that does have some winter kill, some winter dieback on it. Basically all you want to do is when they leaf out green up in the springtime, come in with a pair of hand pruners or big loppers and just prune out anything that's dead so that the new plant, the new foliage can then fill in. What you don't want to do is do a late spring pruning to them because all of this new growth, this is where your flower spikes are going to be for late summer. They come in a variety of colors, white, light pink, kind of a purple, a fuchsia red. So it just depends on what color that you want to add to your garden, whether or not, which cultivar that you pick. But a lot of these newer cultivars are great and they're fairly reliable with their blooming. So again, this one, you're not going to see any flower color on it at all until probably 1st of August, somewhere in that time frame. And then just let it go with its flowers, let it die back naturally through the winter time, and then next spring, if you want to prune it, shape it, do it early, let the foliage come on, and then trim out any of the dead stuff that needs to come out of it. Crepe myrtles are more of an acid-loving plant, so we talked about in one of our videos, and we'll talk about it again, of having the right soil pH so that they thrive and bloom well. This is one that you're going to want to make sure your soil is slightly acidic for it to do well. And again, the new red growth, that's another nice touch to it, so it's not just green. You have a little bit of flower color with that nice waxy leaf during the summer, and then it's going to be beautiful for you for late summer, fall. So,
I've got a silly question.
Okay.
There's some plants that bloom later in the year,
Right.
Almost end of summer, like Rose of Sharon, things like that.
Right.
Can you tell me why some plants bloom later?
Because they want to. No.
Okay.
No. So Rose of Sharon, for example, is a late summer bloomer. So that's another case of a plant that blooms on new growth or new wood, whereas a lilac and viburnum bloom on last year's wood. So if you think of it in terms of, so like we'll say an old-fashioned lilac, because most folks are familiar with that. So those are going to bloom in the spring, say April, May, and then they're going to be done blooming and they're going to shoot out a lot of new growth. At that point, you prune everything back. Ideally, I like to do it by July 4th. You can get by a couple weeks later, but usually by the 1st of August, all those flower buds are set on the ends of the plant for the next spring. So if you prune a lilac in the fall, you've just cut all your flowers off for the next spring. Same with viburnum. Whereas Rose of Sharon, crepe myrtle, Annabelle hydrangea, butterfly bush, buddleia, things like that, they come up in the spring, they put on a lot of new growth, and then they set their buds at the tips of the leaf stem so that you have that midsummer, late summer, fall blooming. So you just want to make sure your sequence of pruning is correct based on what you have. So a Rose of Sharon, just if you need to prune it early and then let it go early in the spring, then let it go. It's going to shoot on a lot of new growth, and then you're going to have the flowers for the late summer. So yeah, that's our plant of the week, crepe myrtle. Please join us again. Please like, subscribe, and share. We love your comments and feedback so that we can keep going with more things that are interesting and hopefully give you some great ideas to add some new things to your garden that you hadn't thought of before. So thank you. I'm Roots, signing off.
So.